I've got a fun review here, a long overdue review here of my Timex cushion case. And I have no name for this watch. I have no model number at all. It's totally generic outside of the Timex logo on the front dial and on the case back. So let's just hammer through the technical specs first and go from there. So as you've seen in all my other reviews, the lug end to lug end length is 52 millimeters. The case width, including the crown, from across the 9 o'clock to the top of the crown is 44 millimeters. And this crystal window opening on the front is 37 millimeters across. And this coin edge, it looks like a dive bezel, but it really isn't. It's just a decorative bezel. But this coin edge bezel diameter is 44 millimeters. The case thickness from the flat of the case back to the top of the crystal is 11.5 millimeters. The crown diameter is a 7 millimeter diameter crown, and it protrudes out of the side of the case by 3.5 millimeters tall. Crown is pretty different and unique looking. It's got this little knurl edge around it, and I kind of like it. It's really easy to use, easy to push pull, and it's kind of nice. The strap lug width is a standard 24 millimeters. It uses a single spring bar for each end, so any number of aftermarket watch straps are readily available for this watch. The one thing to keep in mind though is the case lugs are not very tall or reach out very far. So if, for example, if you want to use like a really thick leather strap, it might look a bit awkward or a bit oversized for the dimensions of the case lugs. But, you know, an averagely thick strap like the OEM one you see here will fit just fine. This, I believe, is an Italian rubber strap. I've seen this type of strap used on Zodiacs, for example. So, for what it's worth, Zodiac, Nautica, and a couple other brands, Fossil, I believe, too. They all fall under the Timex group of companies. So I'm not sure which one of those is actually the parent company, but they all fall under the same financial umbrella, and so they also share some design commonalities. So, for example, I've seen this 24 millimeter strap on some, I believe, Zodiac watches, and you can probably find pictures of them online and what have you. But it's a nice strap overall. It's kind of thin. It's about maybe 2.5 millimeters thick, but again, 24 millimeters wide. It's a soft Italian rubber, I believe, or very similar to it. I don't think it's silicone because it's curved. It has acquired a curvature shape to my wrist, and that's something that silicone straps don't typically do. So both ends have acquired a nice curvature to it. And it also doesn't attract dirt and lint and debris and stuff the way silicone does. So it's actually a really nice strap overall. I've been meaning to replace it with a 24 millimeter wide Zulu or a NATO, but I just haven't got around to it. So, but anyways, it starts off at 24, as I mentioned, and it tapers down gradually to 22 at the buckle. And the buckle is stainless, polished stainless with a folded steel tang and a simple 22 millimeter spring bar in between. Okay, so let's take a closer look here at the case. Most of the case is polished. And this watch here is several years old. I bought it used, actually, from the Watch You Seek forum, I think for $25, and it's just a great watch for the amount of money that I spent for it. So most of it's polished, as you can see there, but it does have some brushed accents on the case lugs and kind of around the corners of the case. Really nicely done overall. There's a couple different versions I've seen online for this watch, mainly in black ionic plating, and there's a black dial version, and those are actually really nice looking. I have not been able to find those anywhere, Amazon or any eBay sellers or anything like that. So I've been looking for those periodically here and there across the web whenever I get interested, but so far this is the only one I've been able to find. So let's see. The watch is 10 ATMs water case pressure resistance, so it's not really a water sports watch simply because the crown sticks out so far and is totally unprotected. It is a simple push-pull crown, so I've worn it swimming before, but it's not something I really wear all the time in the water. I try not to get it wet just for those reasons. The case back is probably my only real complaint. It's a snap-in case back, and I don't like snap-in case backs at all, just because they can be tight and difficult to pop open, and even if you use the right tools and a proper case back knife edge, you run the risk of poking yourself, jabbing yourself when you're reaching here and pry this thing open. So the batteries last a really long time in this watch, which has been a surprise, being that it's an Indiglow. electroluminescent design, but this is the same battery that it came with, and I bought it like I said 3 or 4 years ago, and the previous owner probably had it for some time before that, so it's a really long-lasting battery. I'm kind of careful with the Indiglow Electrolume because it obviously drains the batteries, so let's take here a closer look into the dial. So it's a white dial with big, bold, glow-in-the-dark luminescent markers around the perimeter. Pretty easy to read overall. It's got a pretty nicely done chapter ring around the perimeter. I wouldn't call it a deep dish or stadium dial design, but it's deep enough, and it's nice looking overall. I like the big, bold, luminescent markers. They're easy to read. Even for a white dial watch, it's still very easy to read. I don't know if you can hear it on the video here, but it ticks very loud. I can hear it like ticking from across the room. Most of my watches are pretty quiet, but this one here is pretty loud. I don't know if they do it on purpose or not, but whatever, it is what it is. I don't know the origins of the movement in this watch. Timex, who knows? Timex mystery movement, I guess, if you want to call it that, but it's been super reliable, super accurate, super durable. No problems with this quartz movement at all whatsoever. There's your date window. I kind of like how the date window creates the 3. That's kind of different, different, I guess. So let's dim the lights here and show you the lume. Oh, let me lume charge first. Here, let me just put the watch down and lume charge it. So it does have a traditional glow-in-the-dark lume, which is actually pretty good for a watch in this price range. Again, under $50. And it won't glow very bright, but it will glow fairly long, and with night dilated vision, I can pretty easily read the time in the middle of the night. But don't be blown away. Don't expect huge, great things out of the traditional glow lume here. But I can show you it quickly. Okay, there's your lume. Not bad overall. Okay, for a watch in this price range from a company who's not really known for glow-in-the-dark luminescence. Not bad at all. So it's big, it's bold, easy to read, good, excellent uniformity. So one of my minor lume peeves is watch manufacturers who can't lume match the intensity of the dial to the hands, and Timex nailed it with this one. And you're probably just going to see in the course of this video here, you're probably just going to see the watch slowly fade pretty evenly. So it's not really, the hands aren't super bright compared to the rest of the dial. But the main attraction from a luminescent standpoint is not so much the glow-in-the-dark lume, but it's the Electrolume. Timex Indiglow. Awesome, awesome lume. If you want something to just light up like a flashlight in a movie theater, this is the lume to get. Don't even bother with other kinds of luminescent forms. Electrolume is the way to go if you need something super bright. In fact, it's actually too bright at night. If I'm like in the middle of the night and I wake up or whatever and I go, bam, I hit myself with that, I'm basically blinded, and I've got, green spots in my vision for however long it takes to clear those things up. So it's actually very bright in that sense, but it's a really, really cool gimmick. Not gimmick, but it is a really, really cool part of the design that I like a lot. So, okay, so that's pretty much it. That's all I can say about this watch. I don't have any packaging material. Again, I bought it used for $25, and despite me semi-cautiously using the glow lume, battery's lasting a pretty long time. I'm not looking forward to a battery change because I can't stand snapping case backs, but hey, who cares? For a watch in this price range and for this feature set, it's really nice. It's a cushion case. There's not too many Timex watches out there that are cushion cases. And of course, the Panerai company has very closely safeguarded its design, and so there's just a handful. There's some cushion cases out there, but Timex just doesn't have that many cushion cases. It's called a cushion case, just so you guys know. It's called a cushion case because it looks like a pillow cushion. It's not round and it's not a square case, but it looks like a pillow cushion or a couch cushion. That's basically where the soft rounded corners and that kind of thing. So anyhow, thanks for tuning into the WatchBox review today, guys. Happy holidays to everyone, and I've got a few more reviews coming out here to close out the 2012 year. Got a few more watches to review, so stay tuned for those, alright? Thanks a lot. See you later.